guys, I thought I would jump on a few minutes early to make sure all my technology was set up. So just bear with me for a few minutes. Hang on one sec. Oh, there I am. Okay. I think I'm good. Hey guys. Oh, you like my glasses? So I usually have my contacts on, but I can't see really well in front of me anymore. Hi, welcome to your 40s. So bifocal glasses it is. How's everybody doing this afternoon? I'm excited to spend an hour with you. You guys are going to be tired of listening to me drowned on. I thought we could talk about some of the masks I'm making and how I'm making them. I loaded a pattern yesterday on my website, a free download on the blog of the pattern that I'm using. I thought I would talk a little bit about how I arrived at that particular pattern. I actually did a bunch of research over the course of a half of a day, trying to figure out which one I liked and why I liked it. You guys are the reason why I put makeup on and fixed my hair today. Thank you. I'm not going to show you what I'm wearing below the t-shirt. No, I'm just kidding. It's jeans. I had to take the pajamas off at some point, right? We here in Seattle, we just found out that we're quarantined now until May the 4th. So just in time for my daughter's 17th birthday to, hey Sarah, to be able to be in our houses stuck. See the rabbit ears stuck in front of our sewing machines. Okay, you can, on Instagram, you can send questions to me via my email. My email is info at featherweightdoctor.com. All one word, all spelled out. Okay, well, I thought I would show you a little bit about the masks first. So what I'm doing was, again, a combination of a couple of different techniques. These are my finished products. So they have 3 pleats. I tried them with 2 pleats. It did not cover my chin properly. So 3 pleats has good coverage between my nose, and it fits right underneath my glasses. So it doesn't have the wire in it because it fits right underneath my glasses. And then this fits really nice underneath my chin. I chose to use a flannel on the inside for 2 reasons. First of all, I really like the fact that it is softer against my face. Secondly, it signifies really easily what the inside of the mask is, because there's a big deal about wearing the mask both ways and then contaminating the barrier that you're trying to create. So again, flannel on the inside, regular quilting fabric on the outside. I realize it's a little warmer, but I just like the fact that it's softer against my face. So that's what I chose to do. I cut my my squares 6 by 9. So, and what I did was I put them right sides together. So this is a snowboarding fabric. I bought this to make a quilt for my son, and then he moved to Maui and snowboarding didn't make any sense anymore. So anyway, so these are 6 by 9. I ran a seam down, 1/4 inch seam down the 2 6-inch sides, and then I flipped it right sides out and pressed, so I have a nice edge here. And then I went through with my pins, and initially when I had just made my first couple, before I got to be kind of an expert, I was putting a pin at 1.5, 3, and 4.5. So I had 3 even divisions. So I'm going to make a 1/2 inch pleat, 1.5 inches from the top. I just pinned my finger into the project. That's super professional. Okay. So pleat 1, pleat 2, pleat 3, like so. And then on the other side, I flipped the project around to the other side. The pleats need to be going the same direction. So make sure they're not, they're not going opposite directions. The folds need to go so that the pleats are going in the same direction. Like this. Like this. Okay, so there's 3 pleats, both sides. Like so. And now I'm going to take my featherweight here, and I'm going to just show you what I've already done this. I've stitched down the side, 1/4 inch down the side, and now I've taken my bias tape. It's not really bias tape because I cut it straight a grain, because there's no reason to have bias. Cut it at a 45 because there's no curves or anything. So what I did was I folded it in half. My dog's coming down. He's going to try to get in the shot. Oh, there it goes. He's a camera hog. Is that what they call it? Where they, like, what's photo bombing? He's a photo bomber. Every time I do a video, you'll see a little black lab tail somewhere in the thing, because he's like, hey, mommy's on the camera. So first I folded it in half and pressed it, and then I took the raw edges and folded it into itself and then pressed it back. So now I have a bias piece of tape with no raw edges. Then I took this, no, not 1 inch. I'm sorry, I cut these to 2 inches. So you'll need two 2-inch strips. I put in my pattern WOT or WOF, and not realizing that isn't a universal term, with a fabric. So they're about 42 inches long, salvage. So 2 inches. So when I'm done, all in all, I have about a 1/2 inch piece. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my center here. And I'm going to take this and finger press it so I can see a line. And then find the center of my mask and wrap it and pin it. Where's my pins? So that way it doesn't move on you. And then I'm going to turn my featherweight light on and turn my second camera on. Hang on 1 sec here. Yeah, I got it already. All right, so there's my camera, and I'm going to turn this light on so you guys can see. Ooh, these LED light bulbs are strong. All right, so I'm going to just start sewing. Hi, Emmy Rowe. My girlfriend's, my friend Sarah's 1-year-old is watching. Auntie Darlene. Say, Darlene, Emmy, Darlene. Okay, so all I'm going to do, can you guys see the camera? Yeah. So I'm just going to stitch right off of that, not the fold, but the other side where the 2 ends come together. I'm just going to stitch. I have my pink, cotton candy pink featherweight. My new friend Helen and I named her Barbie because she's like Barbie pink. She's a 1950 featherweight who was on her way to the landfill, and my husband and I saved her and gave her a new color and a new lease on life. And she purrs like a kitten now. Okay, so now that I've actually contacted the mask, I'm going to pull my pin out of the way. And I need my scissors. I'm just going to make sure this is a nice tight envelope. So you can see I'm just like, I actually didn't even put my 1/4-inch foot on my Featherweight. I'm using the 4mm foot that came with it. And it works kind of nice. I'm just lining on the skinny side of the Featherweight foot, lining it up to the raw edge of the bias tape and just stitching down. And of course, I did change the needle, by the way. I put a 9014 Schmetz quilting needle in here because the thickness of the pleats and everything, we're giving it a run for its money at the 7511. So I put a 9014 in just so I didn't risk breaking a needle. And I'm just going to keep going here. So a couple of lessons I learned along the way. Oopsie. Okay, there. So my friend, who's a podiatrist down in SoCal, hey Becky, if you're on, she was thrilled with the idea that these were bias tape and not the elastic. She says that when she's on long shifts at the hospital, the elastic actually cuts into the back of her ear. And so having the ties would mean that she wouldn't have the discomfort from the mask, which is cool. Okay, so once I have one side done, then I'm going to, where my other strip went. These ties are hands down the most time consuming part of this whole process, for sure. I'm making about 100 masks, and I spent a half a day with my daughter, someone pressing and someone doing the 6-inch seams, and we still only got like enough ties done for 40 masks. So it's definitely a time consuming process. But if it means that, you know, we can wear the masks longer without them irritating our ears, then that's really what is important. Okay, did I use stabilizers? I did not use a stabilizer. I have seen the recommendation to use the lightweight woven to create an extra, layer. I don't think that was recommending it with flannel. It was just 2 quilters cottons. I don't have any stabilizer, and I'm trying obviously not to go to the store or to order anything online right now. So obviously, if I had it, I'd probably give it a go, but I didn't use it on this one. I imagine it would be way too thick with the flannel and hot. Okay. Oh, shoot. Okay. So I'm on the mask again, so I'm going to take my pin off and then make sure that this is stretched out really nice and tight, and I have a nice enveloping of the mask. Can you guys hear my dog chewing on his bone? Why he has to do that right now, I don't know. All right. 199 more to go. No, I'm just kidding. I've done a few up to this point. All right, so that's kind of my process. Has anybody else had any other success with different patterns, or has any other tips? I seem to be doing okay with these, but I'm always like game for some other encouragement or suggestion. I don't know if Helen's on here yet, but she asked me to go over whether I pre-washed my fabric or not. I did not pre-wash my fabric. The flannel that I'm using are leftover quilt backs. You did hear him. That's Rogue. Rogue is 6 years old. He's outside right now. I'll introduce you guys when he comes back. I did not pre-wash any of my fabrics. The flannel that I was using was super high grade cotton flannel, like the velvety kind that you buy at like the mom and pop shops, not the big box stores. Okay, the skinny wire for the nose pinch. Yeah, I don't have any of that on hand. And again, I was trying to use what I had on hand. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, with my stash, I did not have to go shopping for fabric. Crazy. How do we collect so much stuff? All right. Thread count high. You mean in terms of the cotton? Just regular quilter's cotton, like nothing fancy. But I did use really nice flannel because that was just what I had left over from some quilting projects. Been hesitant about making masks because I can't find the elastic. So this is awesome. Great first project for me. Oh, this is your first project? Welcome to the club. That's awesome. You will love this. Oh, if you do a bunch of masks, you will have a full appreciation for how robust these tiny little machines are. Welcome to the club. That's awesome. I bought my first Featherweight. Well, actually, technically, my husband bought her for me. I was trying to remember when I bought her. It had to be like 14 years ago. I've been quilting for about 24 years, the same number of years that I've been married. And I bought a Bernina right out of the gate when I first started quilting. And then a few years in, my Bernina sat in a custom cabinet because, any Bernina, Pfaff, Viking, great machines, super, super duper heavy. Helen, yes, hi. I did talk about pre-washing the fabrics. I don't know if you heard. Anyway, and so I was on my way to a class down at Undercover Quilts, and it used to be in the Pike Place Market in downtown Seattle. They've moved now, I guess. And I was in a haste and kind of grabbed my Featherweight out real hastily, and I snapped not my Featherweight. I grabbed my Bernina out and I snapped the handle right off of her. Oh, so I had to go get another machine. And ironically, just before this happened, our mentor, Dave McCullum, who's a pioneer in the Featherweight, I call it the Featherweight Renaissance, because everybody is really, really, really loving the antique, more analog type sewing machines these days. Not that the big fat fancy motherboarded, circuit boarded machines don't have their place. I have one of those also. The Featherweight is for the user that doesn't want to, carry a 30-pound machine around and just want something kind of simple and easy and trustworthy. Or, like it will never fail you kind of thing. Pull it out after sitting for 10 years and it'll still sew. There is a 59 model for those that asked, for the lady that asked. The thing is, though, they're hard to find here in the U.S. because they had 3 factories back in the day. One in Elizabethport, New Jersey in the U.S. There was one in St. John's Bay, Canada, and then there was the Great Britain plant, which was in Kilbowie, Scotland. They call it the UK plant. And in 1957, Elizabethtown, New Jersey plant closed, and so the only way they made them through 1969, but just in the UK. So you'd have to find one from a UK model in 1959. And there was probably, I mean, I don't know this off of the top of my head, but there was probably only one run, maybe 2 runs. So that would be a hard one to find. Anyway, so I snapped the handle off of my Bernina. I said to my husband, I need one of those little black machines, because Dave McCollum had just been to the guild I'm part of, and he talked about the wonderful virtues of the Featherweight. And so we bought one from a estate dealer on Mercer Island. And let's see, even I'm gonna just move this by hand because it's having a little trouble with the thickness. There we go. Anyway, so Esther, her name was Esther, came to live with me. Esther was nothing special, except she was my first. She was a 1953 model. I call that a post-war. I still have her. She is in my very prestigious collection as my most unspecial machine, but she's special to me. So that was when I got my first Featherweight, probably about 15 years ago. And the love affair kind of grew from there. Someone asked earlier about fleece was too warm for the face. That mentioned that you don't have fleece. You can use other fabrics. We also say you can use so fleece would definitely be too hot to use as the inside of the mask. This is just a flannel. But I have a feeling in the next couple days, it's looking like the CDC is going to recommend that all Americans wear the face masks just to go out into the grocery store for your essential services. And if they recommend the pocket to have an additional filter, then I'll edit my pattern that is online right now on that blog as a free download. But because it wouldn't be that hard to do a third layer, so that when you put the face mask on, you have a sleeve to be able to slide a filter in. So, all right, so this one needs bias tape. Let's see, what color do I want to use? Do this one. Okay, there's enough one. All right. Find the center. Roby. Come here. Can you sit for a second? Sit. Okay, say hi to the ladies. This is Rogue. He's got his bandana on because he says, hi ladies. He makes it in my post sometimes under Shop Dog Rogue. How do I there? Looks like a 59 only had 1500. Oh, thank you for looking that up. Nola, good bad dog. Ooh, you have a good bad dog? Rogue is mostly a good dog. We have our moments, don't we, buddy? Yes, we do. He is way better now that he's 6. The Nola good bad dog, the 1500 machines that were made in 59, that was in UK, right? Oh, shelter dog trainer. Nice. Oh, a child size. I did ask, I was talking to a new friend this morning, And she was saying that she, instead of doing the 6 this way and the 9 this way, she did it 6 by 6 for the child size Mary. I haven't tried it yet. That's kind of like my next week's project. Yeah, Canada, really? Okay. For the 1959s. It's a thing. Everybody wants a featherweight of their same birth year. I feel bad in particular for ladies who were born 42, 43, 44. There was literally no Singer featherweights made during those years because the factories had been converted to ammunition depot for the war effort. So you won't find a Singer featherweight if you were born 42, 43, 44. Hey, there's Chief Featherweight. How you doing? Another featherweight boss babe, Texas. Ray, can you hand me Ruby? Of course, she's being cantankerous all of a sudden. In the garage. On the floor. All right, I'm going to change out my machine. I'm going to go grab my trusty 222 here. Can you plug the power cord in behind me? It's the bottom plug. Okay. Here, babes. So this is my very fancy 222. Ray, would you mind handing me a new light bulb? Ruby sees a lot of action. She is pretty much my everyday stitcher. She was outside because of the fact that I had just taken her just a couple weeks ago for spring break to Idaho. And so she's cold. It's cold here in Seattle. Sugar pie. Hi, Rogue. Hi. Okay. Maybe a little bit more. When you guys are changing your light bulbs at home, sometimes leverage is what you need. So I tend to stick mine on its back like so. So I can have good leverage. What I am making, Rebecca, on Facebook, I am making masks. They are the fabric masks, and I'm making 100 of them. Okay. Where was I? This is what they look like. Rebecca Scott. Okay. So this is Ruby. Oh my gosh, I think she just ran out of bobbin thread. Bye. Thanks for joining me. Do you guys know how to run a bobbin? Or maybe I'll show you that while I got you here. Just tip this up a bit. There we go. All right. To run a bobbin, you go to the hook or the clip above the upper tension assembly, down through the button. I run my thread through one of the interior holes to the left on the bobbin and pop that back on. So now I'm threaded here from the cone spool converter up through the hook, and then, oh, Instagram can't see. And then through the button over here through the bobbin, and now I'm going to push my my bobbin winder to make contact with my belt. This does not live on the belt when you're just normally sewing because it just puts additional load on the motor. Then I'm going to undo the silver knob counterclockwise half of a turn so it disengages my head, and then I'm just going to, oh, Ray, did you plug me in? Hold on. Are you sure I'm plugged in? Would you get me the school bell, which is the other machine on the floor? Okay, so normally I would just depress my button on my foot pedal. It does never fail. And then this would start winding. But first we're going to swap out another machine real quick. My cone converter. Another machine in my collection. Didn't know you guys were going to get a fashion show, did ya? Fashion show of featherweights. Actually, that would be a pretty awesome fashion show. Yes, definitely knowing how to fix things on the fly is a perk. Did you switch my plug around, honey? No. Thank you, dear. Oh, we're not threading. We're running a bobbin. Okay. Ha 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 ha. Let there be light. So this is a 1934, actually I'm going to turn that off because that's a little bright in the thing. This is a 1934 school bell, and you can see why it has the chrome corner. This is the second production run ever, and the first one in 1934. There was only one production run before this one in 1933. Mary, that's the name of this machine, has the most hypnotic cadence. Sometimes she needs a little encouragement here. Now, ladies, when you're running a bobbin, and gentlemen, this won't stop when it gets full. It'll just clump everything over. You know, not that that's ever happened to me or anything. I haven't gotten talking to my friends and totally not been paying attention and then gummed up my bobbin winder. Okay, there's that. back on and you guys can see what I'm doing. Cool, cool. The scroll face featherweights were made from when they started manufacturing in 1933 until they stopped production for the war efforts. So I call a machine that has this scrolly pretty faceplate on it a pre-war machine. They also have some other symptoms or signs of their age. Another thing is that it has a chrome hand wheel as opposed to a black hand wheel like the post-wars. Oh, this one already has bobbin. Okay, and then I'm gonna leave this extra bobbin right up here waiting for the next one. And then I'm going to change that needle out because I want to put that 9014 back in there for dealing with the bulk. Ray, can I have a screwdriver? One of the smaller ones. The screwdrivers are up on the shelf back there in the tool bag. Yeah, perfect. The little baby screwdriver is perfect because this doesn't have a hand grasp. Thank you. If you've just joined us, we are making fabric sewing masks on our featherweights. Okay, and then oopsie. The 9014 needles are so much easier to thread. Okay. Where was I? Is this one done? This one's done. Oh, did I get all the way through this? All right. I'm just cranking them out, ladies. That's kind of cool. Oh, no, here it is. Got ahead of myself. It's kind of a crummy day here in Seattle. We just had a hailstorm come through. I love helping out. I was a little late on the bandwagon with this because I wanted to do my own research and figure out what worked well for me, the way that I sew. And I feel like I've got it down now. All right. Okay, making bias tape. Oh, Mom had to point out that it's sunny and 83 in Arizona. Well, nice. I did love living in Arizona. Oh, it's about to hail in New Jersey too. Oh, hail's unusual in New Jersey? I didn't know that. In Seattle, much like my sister lives in Texas and her weather is kind of similar, it always, like, if you don't like the weather right at that moment, just hang on. It'll, like, change. Sure enough, like, it hailed this a little bit ago, but I bet the sun will be out before this sew-in is over with. what are the measurements? To my fabric? My fabric measurements are 6 by 9. There's a free, Becky Smith, there's a free pattern download on my website, featherweightdoctor.com. If you go to the blog, the journal and blog, it's the first entry. There's a free pattern download in there that has all of the measurements in it. I'm going to be doing another Facebook, Instagram, YouTube live on Sunday at 4 p.m. I'm going to call it Ask the Doctor. So if you guys have any questions that you want me to talk about, oh, someone misses us. Oh, Megan, hi, from Street Cafe. Oh my gosh. Street Cafe was our favorite restaurant that closed in Arizona. It was a nonprofit. They would feed food insecure children. They're still in business. They just strictly now focus on the food backpacks. It's called Kitchen on the Street. And Megan used to take super good care of us at the cafe. Vince, the owner and chef, was phenomenal. Oh my gosh, my mouth is literally watering remembering those hamburgers that he used to make. I don't know what he put in the meat, but good Lord, they were delicious. Oh, and the biscuits and gravy. Now I'm just getting hungry. Like your mess has been bagged by folding it over. This would be, yes, it is nice and quick. Once all your ironing is done, the ironing takes a while. Mama Loot. Can't see very well there. Oh, here. Look at this. You guys will laugh. Look at this huge wad of my bias tape. I was at it for a few hours, and again, this was only enough for 40 masks. Oh, there it is. You know what I think is kind of cool, just in general, cool? The sewing community. So the thing that as Americans we're doing to help put our first responders through is sewing. Does that strike anybody else as kind of amazing? Yes, making your own bias tape does take well, fortunately, a friend. Oh, the tape maker. I don't have one of those. I think it's cool that the government is like, Americans, we need help. We need people who can sew. Like, that was the first thing they called out for. Not, we need people who can weld, although welding is a very, bye, Chief Featherweight, thanks for joining me. Not that welding isn't important, but as a nation, they called for the sewists. I had a friend say to me, for years we've joked about a post-apocalyptic society and how having a trade to be able to help to trade for other goods and services is like, if you can do a skill, you will have a job, you will have a livelihood in a post-apocalyptic society. And it's been a joke with some friends of ours for years about how, as a quilter or someone who can take raw materials and make something, I'm a maker at heart, how important that is. And he actually said to me this week, Darlene, I used to think that was kind of funny how you used to say that, but all this has shown me in the last 2 weeks with the masks and all the sewing is that you're right. Of anybody that he knew, I would be the one that would have a job when the government calls out for help, because they need their sewing community. It made me feel, I don't know about how you guys have been, but for me, it's been kind of siloing to be in quarantine and to be away from my friends and my family. And I mean, I'm obviously quarantined with my daughter and my husband, but to not have my regular tribe of quilting and featherweight enthusiasts around me. And doing these masks this week has made me feel like I am not alone, like I am part of a bigger community of people that love and appreciate sewing. And the fact that I get to do it on these cute little machines is like all the better. I would encourage you, if you want to kind of assembly line these things like I'm doing, to make a bunch of bias strips, cut your 6x9 squares, and get them kind of pre-ready to go, and then just start assembly lining them like I'm doing right now. This 34 has the most hypnotic cadence to it. If you've been around featherweights for a long time, you know that they all have their own speeds. Like some of them are fast and some of them are slower, depending on how you like to sew. Maybe you prefer one or the other. For me, I like fast machines and ones that have a nice repetitive cadence to them. Oh, sorry, that's my husband's hand. What happened? Technology problems. Oh, what is width of fabric? Okay, so WOF stands for width of fabric. So if you have a cut of, now you're in front of them. Thank you. So if you have a width of fabric, it's salvage to salvage. What you doing, honey? Sorry, guys. I think he's, oh, okay. I see what you did. Oh. Oh, look at how nice that is. He made that bigger. Okay, sorry. I get excited by things I don't understand, and I don't understand this. Oh, he's okay. He's okay. He's a turdy. Okay. The dog is back in the room again. He's my photo bomber. All right, another one down. How many do I have here? I got 1, 2. I have 5. I've done 5 with you guys. That's awesome. Modern day Rosie the Riveter. Exactly. I love that. I need another center. Okay, look at how cute this fabric is, you guys. It has purses on it. Come on. Purses! And it says shop. Does anybody have a thing for accessories like I do? Like in the winter here, because it gets cold, I love gloves. Like I have a pair of gloves in every purse. I have a pair of gloves in each of my cars, my husband's car, my car. I have multiple pairs of gloves just sitting by the door. I just love accessories. And my twin sister, my identical twin sister, I'm the pretty one, is much worse about purses than I am, but I'm pretty bad about purses too. Oh, and this is part of that same line. I don't remember what the line is called, but look at the shoes. Look at the shoes. Let's use this color. All right, first I'm going to put my pleats in. There's my pleats. Did you say how long to cut the straps? I cut the straps a full width of fabric. So 2 inches salvage to salvage. Just to have plenty of room for whoever this lands with to be able to tie it up. So if you guys have questions for me for Ask the Doctor on Sunday night, you can email or direct message or message me. My email is info, I-N-F-O, @featherweightdoctor.com. Okay, so I have one side done. I'm going to flip to the other side. There's some other purse people on here. You have a fraternal twin sister? That is awesome. My sister is the best. Honestly, we just found out today in Seattle that we're locked down until May 4th. I can't see my sister. I am freaking out. We have been having virtual happy hours on Zoom, which honestly helps. It really does help. Because we talk almost every day, if not multiple times a day. She's been working at home, obviously, like the rest of us. And normally we see each other once a week. She lives in an adjoining town that I do. And then we have another sister, all girls in my family. My older sister lives in Texas outside of Dallas with my mom and dad live in the same town as her. We're not from Texas, but we all lived here in the Seattle area for a long time. And then the older sister, Deb, was the first one to move and to Texas, and then my parents followed. My twin sister does quilt. She is a meticulous quilter. I mean, meticulous quilter. Like, suck the fun out of it with 300 half square triangles type quilter. No, thank you. But my mom, believe it or not, wasn't a quilter. It was the mother-in-law that was the bad influence with the quilting for me. My grandmother, which is my mom's mom, who is obviously now passed, she was a seamstress. So she did sew, and she had all of her granddaughters, all three of us, in front of her. She had a Singer 201 in a custom case. And it was a wedding present from her husband, my mom's father, which was so cute, in the 40s. And when she passed away, another lady who was part of the family at one point landed up with her machine, and she is a wonderful lady. And my meme taught her how to sew and make dresses and wedding dresses, and she still does that. And so she landed up with my meme's machine, and then was kind enough to send me my meme's machine. So I have her machine now, which is very special. I had to buy a new cabinet because it was in rough shape. Is the white fabric you're using flannel? Yes, high quality cotton flannel. Hold on here, I gotta get rid of this. Have you tried to use okay, I have. Helen asked on Facebook. I have tried to use the bias tape binder foot on the Featherweight. I had to cut the strips down to 15/16 of an inch total. And so by the time it went into itself and into itself again as it went through the binder, the ties weren't comfortable anymore. They were kind of cording like, and so I decided to pass, even though that would have been a heck of a lot easier than sitting at the iron with folding on the ironing board. So I did not have a lot of success trying to use that bias binder foot, Miss Helen. What are the measurements for your pleats? What I did, now I'm just kind of free forming them. I had initially started with, because the distance you're pleating is 6 inches, so I had initially started with a pin, just one of my little straight pins, at 1.5 inches, 3 inches, and 4.5 inches. And so I was trying to make my 1/2 inch pleats at those points. And after a few of them, I'm working on almost a dozen now. I'm just kind of going for it. So you can kind of see my pleats. What is your guys' opinion on, like, I have some gentlemen that have asked me to make them some masks, and I don't have a lot of masculine fabric. A lot of my stuff is, well, it has flowers and purses and shoes. So I'm trying to find some solids in my stash to at least give them a solid mask. Do you think that's a good solution for that? Because do you think the guys are going to wear these? Really? I'm only using flannel on one side, Zoe, Axe, Kelly, Finch. And then regular quilters cotton on the other side. Okay, so there's one side, see? Just kind of go. So on my Instagram feed, there's a little joke about the Sasquatch quilt I made. It's the Elizabeth Hartman pattern called Legacy, or Legendary. I'm sorry, Legendary. And someone wants to know if I can make a Sasquatch face mask. No, I cannot. I am not leaving a pocket yet to insert the filter. When the CDC comes out, and if they recommend just for general wearing out in public the pocket to be able to put the filter in and out, I will change my free download pattern. But for right now, I am not, just for heat buildup, not including a pocket. But it would be really easy to just do a third layer, and then have a finished edge on the inside to be able to insert a filter, some type of a filter for better filtration. I probably should put in my disclaimer here, these masks will not prevent the spread of the virus. They fall under the category of better than nothing. You still need to take precautions with hand washing and social distancing and 6 feet and all that fun stuff. This falls under the category of better than nothing. And I think the government in the CDC are going to start recommending that we wear them just out and about, under the category of better than nothing. Robin Quilt Applique, she said, I think the men would look cute in the purses. And she did get her husband to wear one. Good job. Would a third layer make it hard to breathe because that makes 4 layers? Actually, the third layer would just be, makes 4 layers. I think that just makes 3 layers, because I just have 2 thicknesses of fabric, and then there'd be an additional one. Honestly, if I did put a pocket in, DSNS, I would, including the filter. I gotcha. I would probably not use the flannel. I would just use regular quilter's cotton to increase the airflow. I'll have to keep you guys posted on that. Ooh. All right. Well, think we're coming to the end here. My time, I wanted to spend about an hour with you guys answering questions and such. What I'm going to do is, again, on Sunday, I'm going to get back on around 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time for an Ask the Doctor session. If you have any questions about your featherweights specifically, then please feel free to email in to info@featherweightdoctor.com. If you haven't already, like, follow, and subscribe on either Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube to our video so you know when I'm going live or if I posted a new video. So I hope you guys have a great Friday night, and I hope everybody is staying safe and healthy. And again, you're an incredible sense of joy and encouragement to me. So I appreciate everybody taking an hour of their Friday night to hang out. We'll talk to you soon.